Ah, yes, the Humble Delivery app. Originally made in the space year 1995 with the startup Worldwide Waiter, it was originally designed to host over 60 local restaurants in the San Francisco area. Surprisingly enough, they're still in business today as Waiter.com, but that's not the main topic of this video. They're just the original guys that came up with the idea of having a centralized delivery service. Today we're going to be focusing on the main three, mostly Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all that. While only being three major services, it still feels like too much variety. Each one of these apps wants you to be completely dedicated to their ecosystem, when in all reality, they're all basically the same. None of them have a dedicated theme that would actually make it easier to pick one. They all consist of the same trashy fast food spots and the same shitty chain restaurants. Personally, I'd want one just dedicated to like Asian food in my area or just like, late night deliveries, stuff like that. Instead of getting a cavalcade of options that boil down to, a cold burger, cold wings, cold pizza. And I swear, every time I walk into a restaurant, it's like walking into a Best Buy with how many tablets are on the counter. Every time I walk into my local sushi restaurants, all I hear is the pings from these stupid tablets. Just a constant onslaught of orders, making it harder for me to get my food. But hey, these restaurants need to keep up with the rest. If they don't use these, they won't be able to make enough to support themselves. For as much as these apps try to dress themselves up as different, they're all fundamentally the same, and it comes down just to the nature of these. They all kind of have similar restaurants, they're all kind of similarly overpriced and have the same issues. Anything you could say about one will almost definitely apply to the others. I wouldn't be surprised if they all had the same source code and threw a new coat of paint over top of that. It's like swapping a set of fenders and calling it a new car. One of the more annoying parts is that it doesn't have a centralized app for all the restaurants that use these. Make it easier on the people making the food. It's already hard enough for them to follow basic instructions. This would be one less area where they could fuck it up. Here's something. Why is it that every time I boot up one of these apps, they want me to pay for another fucking shitty subscription service? I already don't like it when YouTube asks me that. Why would you think I'd want to subscribe to a quote-unquote free delivery? I mean, it's kind of funny how it all mirrors the other subscription models. Or even though you're paying for this one, you're going to end up having to pay for another one because no app has everything on it. Typically, they'll have 2/3 of what you want, and if you're craving something specific, you're going to be shit out of luck. It's either that or the restaurant you're thinking of got its own proprietary delivery app. What a time to be alive. This shit fucking sucks. But remember, it's not just the app's fault for being shitty. Some of the blame can be put on the restaurant itself, especially for the overpriced food. Like seriously, why do you get to overcharge me for this food? It's not like you're giving Uber the money. Technically, it should be the same price, right? It's not like the app isn't paying their drivers either. Yet all I see is food for $2, $3, $4 more than what it would be if you just drove 2 minutes down the road to get it. It's just another convenience tax. I shouldn't be charged more because your employees worked less. I still think the worst part about these apps is when the driver tries to contact you when you're already at the door and can see them. Like, I'm seriously convinced that they only hire the blind. Another fun one is when you get a text from Uber written in squiggles. Last I checked, I was ordering Indian food, not the whole Indian. I'll be real though. These are petty gripes compared to the biggest plague facing this entire industry. Why is it that every time I order from any restaurant, they always forget the sauce? Like, dude, seriously, this food is basically cardboard by the time I get it. You cannot do me dirty like this. These fuckers are basically inedible. And it's always when I order two 40-piece nugs. I'll get the delivery from the man speaking in squiggles, I'll check the bag, and not even one sauce. I don't even care if you put the wrong sauce, just put something. You try and eat these dry-ass nuggets with no sauce. You won't, because it'll mummify you. Jesus Christ. Now remember, these apps aren't just a crutch for the terminally online. They can be really helpful for those of us who have busy schedules and not much time or energy to cook on our own. I definitely use these apps more than I should. But hey, sometimes you can't leave your post, especially when you're working overnight. It's important to remember just because something has some poor qualities doesn't make it horrible, but we still shouldn't settle for mediocre or overpriced service. It's better to stay on the hunt for quality and properly voice our concerns over what we use. Remember, things that are stagnant die off, and unless it's very basic, there's always room for improvement. Just stop putting fucking subscription services on everything. Jesus Christ. And with all that being said, delivery apps are absolute garbage. Eat dirt.